This is our part 2 of our Tinkercad series with learning how to come up with an idea and then 3D model it and maybe 3D print it. But it's part of our after school club that is Monday through Thursday on Twitch, except for Thursdays they're going to be on Zoom again. And if you go to the website at dospace.org/afterschool, you can see Monday Design It, what we're doing today. And then there's an activities archive for previous days if you missed. The last thing that we did for Design It was make video games with FlowLab. But yeah, today we're just going to look a little bit more design. Here, Tinkercad, if you guys saw it from last week earlier, there was like a little visual of the keychain if you saw it. But we're continuing on. Tinkercad has like little information packets of learning design and other various things here. And I'm going to show you guys a little quick video on intro design thinking. It is more complex than this video. If you check out DoSpace YouTube, there's actually like an hour-long talk I did on design thinking. You can watch that and learn even more if you're curious. But we're going to intro into this video here, and after that, we're going to start planning out some ideas for our future 3D printed inventions. So now, I am going to turn the volume up for the desktop and play videos. Hopefully I don't kill anyone's ears on the headphones.
What can you do when you want to solve a big problem but you're not sure where to start? Design thinking is a process you can use to creatively brainstorm ideas and work with others to discover, test, and refine a great solution to a problem. A lot of companies use design thinking to create products like cars, appliances, and consumer goods. In fact, you can use design thinking to find innovative solutions to a wide variety of everyday problems, like improving safety equipment, building a more fuel-efficient vehicle, or addressing a pollution problem in your local community. Here's the main thing to remember about design thinking. It's all about designing for the user's needs and point of view. Let's break the process down into 5 steps. Understand, define, ideate, prototype and test, and refine. During the understand step, you learn about problems others are facing. Be curious and show empathy. Ask questions like, how do you feel? Why does this problem exist? Pay attention to clues that show you their point of view. Keep track of everything you learn to help build the next phase of the process. Use words and images to describe your observations. Once you understand the nature of the problem and how people feel about it, the next phase is to define the problem. Here, you connect the feelings people have to the problem they need to solve. Remember, you're trying to imagine walking in their shoes. Clearly defining the problem will help you focus on finding a creative and effective solution based on what people need. Now that you understand the problem, it's time to ideate. That means coming up with as many ideas as possible. At this stage, quantity is more important than quality. There will be time later to narrow down your best ideas. During the ideate phase, use tools like mind maps and sticky notes to keep track of the ideas you think of with your group. When you're done, rank your ideas in order and then choose what your group agrees is the strongest potential solution. It can be hard to pick just 1 or 2 great ideas, but it's necessary in order to move on to building and testing a prototype. You can build a prototype or a model using art materials, or you can use a computer to design it. Review your problem statement if you feel stuck at any time while you're building. Then test your model with real people who would benefit from the solution you're working on. Their feedback allows you to make something that will help solve their problem. After you build a model and test it, you'll most likely need to make some changes based on the insights you learned. This is where the refine phase starts. Refine means that you update your model according to what you learned during testing. Making improvements will help you create the best possible solution to the problem. Design thinking is used by businesses, students, and communities to solve a wide range of problems. What are some problems you could solve using the 5 phases of design thinking?
So yeah, there you have it. We are going to figure out a problem, try to understand it, define what it is. We'll look at a problem, try to figure out what it's like in the other person's view facing this problem, define it, tell what it is exactly, try to figure out what obstacles our users actually are facing, and then come up with an idea to solve that problem. So design thinking is basically solving problems that we see in our daily lives. And after that, prototype and edit, refine it. Here we go. So I'm gonna come up with like a few little exercises here. First things first, let me go over my notes over here. The first thing we're going to do is understand the problem. Now you guys can do this without the measuring cup thing that I'm going to do, but if I go over here, I have like this little PDF here. If you guys are interested in this PDF, you can always look up make your own measuring tool within Tinkercad, tinkercad.com/lesson plans/make your own measuring tool. And down over here, understand the problem. And then right here is your PDF. You don't have to use it right now. You can just grab paper and a pen, or open up a Word document, or open up a notepad on a digital device, or something along that line. You don't have to have this exactly. And start want to think about like a problem that you or someone you know is facing right away, understand what it is, and define it. So here our prompt is: a baker wants to quickly create small batches of cookies but doesn't like fumbling with too many measuring cups and spoons. The baker hopes that a local makerspace can help solve their issues and design a measuring tool for their bakery. So instead of having like 20 different measuring cups, they just want one measuring cup that can measure all the different things. So that could be quite, difficult. And here it says with your group, it's just us. Imagine writing a story of your baker, give them a name, age, hometown, favorite hobby, and stuff. So this part's more of like empathy and understanding their issue. I'm gonna go with a baker named. I could just, I don't know any actual bakers. That's the problem. I know people who practice as hobbies, but I'm just going to go with Maria is my baker. And this is like a hypothetical situation here that we're making up. If you were trying to solve your own problem, you would just, describe the person who has the problem here instead of me with my imaginary baker. They are 24 years old. They are a young entrepreneur. Their hometown is Omaha. Their favorite food is cheesecake cookies. And their favorite hobby is a hobby that isn't baking. Their favorite hobby would be playing tennis and going to the park with their dog. Various things like that. And now we have to understand like the problem. So this is who they are. They're a successful entrepreneur, 24 years old. Maria has her own company in Omaha. They bake. Their favorite food is cheesecake cookies. I'm just relating it to what we're making here. And they like to play tennis. Or maybe they like to quilt, or maybe they like, something more common, play video games. Or they like to do Dungeons and Dragons. Like play Dungeons and Dragons with friends. Here we go. A little bit more modern right there. Here we go. So, again here, this would just be, if you have a problem like you want to solve already, just describe the person who has the problem right here. Or just write it down on a piece of paper. You don't have to have this PDF exactly, just, helps you understand them a little bit better and try to view things from their point of view. So once you have a good understanding who your baker is, or understand who has the problem, And you understand who the baker is, which problem or problem needs to be solved. Describe 5 things your baker needs. For example, maybe a new measuring tool needs to be easy to store, easy to use, have a unique look. Be creative and brainstorming. Needs that your baker has. Use a sentence starter like baker blank wants a measuring tool that is blank because blank. So here, instead of the baker, it'd be like if it's something for you, you would say, I want a lazy light switch that turns on the light from bed so I don't have to get up and turn it off or on. Could be something like that, you know, you're like in bed and you're like the light's on but I don't want to do anything. Or maybe your curtains are open and you're like, oh, I don't want to close my curtains, the sun's in my face. Maybe you invent something that just does it for you so you don't have to get out of bed and get cold. That'd be an idea like for someone else. But here I'm doing the baker example. So Maria wants a measuring tool that is I wouldn't say easy to use. Their tool is like something that's just, you know, like instead of being multiple things, it's just one thing. That is an all-in-one. I forgot, I misspelled tool there. An all-in-one measuring tool because they don't have a lot of counter space. And they don't want to have like, and they also probably don't want to rewash measuring tools over again. It'll be easier just to wash the one. That'll be another thing. Another reason there. So they also don't want a lot of dishes to wash. Probably, yeah, a lot faster. Instead of having like thousands of measuring tools, you just have the one for the specific thing, unfortunately. And probably has to be small. Yeah, the tool probably needs to be the size of their hand, probably needs to be small. So there's the problem that we want to solve. Then we got an idea of it. So you guys can like take some time, you know, figure out your problems you want to solve, who the person has the problem, and understanding why they want an invention for that problem. So that'd be the main thing there. And again, through joining us on Twitch, you can definitely, you know, go right into our chat in here, you know, maybe describe, you know, a few problems you like to solve. It could be like, you know, a relatable one like I had earlier about turning off the light from bed without having to get up. Or something that like walks your like pets without you having to go outside in the cold. Or that's a much more complicated invention. But yeah, various things like that. Just gonna leave it on here a bit. But again, once you understand a person who has the problem, you wanna, you know, start brainstorming like what the need is. And like write out a sentence saying they want this because they want this thing to do this because of this problem. And that's how you investigate like how this thing could solve this problem, and maybe you can invent something based off that. Now there's a little bit more we're going to do today, so I'm just going to put this on a little bit. Of course, you know, after this you can watch the video again or, you know, continue on writing different ideas afterwards. But our next step is to define the need. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit. It's another PDF I have to pull open. But yeah, so we got understand the problem, understand what it's like in their shoes, but now we need to define the problem a little bit more, where like you need to understand, 3 to 5 ways they can use this tool to do various things for our user, which is Maria here. So things you want to consider when defining our problem would be, if you are using a different tool, be something else, but this is for a measuring tool, so what are the baker's requirement for this tool? What's the different constraints of this design? So I kind of have that right here, the tool needs to be the size of their hand. What's the maximum size? There's that. How can this tool be made? Is there a size complexity limit to it? What skills do you, for the vendor need to learn to use this tool? And then you list, 3 to 5 kind of things that you need to make this tool. So now I'm going to close this out right here. And I'm going to bring this other thing over. There we go. So yeah, we kind of understood who the person is, try to get an idea of understanding the problem. Now we need to define it a little bit more. So define the need. In the previous step, you create a profile for your baker and a list of 5 needs with your group. Reveal those needs and choose one of them to focus on. Describe 3 to 5 attributes that the tool should have in order to meet need. For example, a baker wants a tool to measure ingredients quickly. There are only a small amount of storage space, so the tool needs to be compact. So, well, I already had one earlier, so needs to be the size of her hand. Measure multiple substances. Again, you can use this for like your own thing that you want to invent something for. When you're inventing your own thing, you want to make sure for this specifically that it can just be 3D printed. You don't need to add any other components. But if you want to take a step further, like last week someone wanted to make like a digital tonometer. And I showed them some of the parts they can use to make that. And 3D print maybe a shell for it, but can't go on. That's a little bit more it's out of the reach of this course here because it's only focusing on things that only need made once. And that's it. But you can totally go further. So measure multiple substances like liquids, maybe flour. Syrup, all the stuff like that. Not at the same time, of course. Go away. I got a notification about storage. Yeah. It's basically like an all-in-one. And what else? It can't be heavy. It needs marks for different measurements. That's easy to read, and then easy to wash, easy to clean, easy and fast to clean. So that's my 5. Two of these are kind of really similar, but this gives me an idea of what my constraints are for when I start designing this unique measuring cup here. So I'll leave this up for a little bit, to get you an idea of 5 different things of this thing needs to be able to do. But there's still a little bit more to what we're doing today. The last part's actually my favorite part. After you define this, you can finally start brainstorming the actual thing. So we started with just focusing on the problem. We don't have an invention yet in here. We're just focusing on the problem, defining it. We need to start with this first. Whenever you're designing thing, don't go straight to the idea you have right away, because a lot of times when you go straight to the idea, it doesn't meet the needs of whatever the problem is. It doesn't solve it at all. It's just an extra thing there. So it's really good to define what the problem is and how to help that need. with, define the need, figure out understanding the problem. And after you do that, then you can start, making custom ideas to meet the goals of this need. So yeah, like whenever you're trying to like solve a problem with design, don't come up with the idea first. You want to figure out what the problem is and how to define the need of your user. When I say user, that's usually like client, the person you're working for, various things like that. So, so I'm gonna just keep this up while I describe the next things. The next step is ideate. And with that, you basically have like, you want to have a bunch of like more paper here. I usually use sticky notes for this part because sticky notes, it makes it easier for me to separate the ideas. But basically you just have like a giant wall or a giant board, and you have sticky notes and you just write your ideas in all these notes and place them on this board. And you can draw an arrow to your idea from the goals, various things like that. Yeah, you can use a flip chart, large giant paper, sticky notes, a roll. A wall you can write on. That's what we've got in here. Lots of pens and paper, various things like that. And the reason why we do this is because you want to identify ways that design thinking helps solve problems with this, but also identify all these different things, like different brainstorm ideas you have. And of course, pick your favorites after that. Like we saw with the video earlier, was showing like this part of brainstorming with all these notes and stuff. Yeah, and again, if you have an idea of something you want to invent, you can definitely, talk about it and chat and just, hang out a bit. You will have to create a Twitch account, unfortunately, to be able to chat. It's something unique to Twitch. You can't just, say stuff right away. So I'm going to close that. Again, there's that video, understanding. And now we're going to ideate. So we already got the first 3 things done already. Well, the first 2 done. Then we can start coming up with that invention. So I have this handy website, definitely. You can like totally use like a physical paper and stuff, but I have a website I'm gonna use. I remember where I placed it. It's like called Miro.co. You can like draw anywhere in here and place stuff. And if I zoom out, here's my board. I'm gonna first, focus on brainstorm and increase the size. There we go. Move it up here. There's brainstorm, and I'm gonna make a large note here. So basically I'm just sketching ideas. Sometimes when you're coming up with an idea, you're just writing the idea down. I'm gonna use these circle things right here. And zoom in a bit. There's like all these different ideas in place. So this is like a digital version. This isn't free, unfortunately. I'm using the trial right now. They have like multiple users in here and like writing all the stuff everywhere. Yeah, so next part is definitely go find some paper, some pencils, pen, various stuff like that. So I need to think about different ways of measuring cup. Of course, it used to be the size of the hand. You used to be able to measure multiple things in there. And with this, you want to you don't want to come up with very nice ideas first. You just want to get things out of your head. So I'm just getting the basic, giant measuring cup out of the way here. This one's very generic, could be very heavy, so it doesn't really meet the need. But I'm just getting there out there so it's out of my head. So I'll stop thinking about it and be like, okay, I'm not thinking about it anymore. Oh, I'm gonna delete that one. I want this. So now I gotta come up with another idea here. Maybe it could be like a pyramid. It's gonna be a weird pyramid, but you can like measure where more things greatly. Now it's not gonna be as even as it goes up. Oops, come on, get down there. Might maybe some like weird side handles, but this is some very practical here. I could do maybe like stacked squares. Like, there's the first part for like flour specifically. And goes down here. Maybe you want to fill the flour all the way up to here. Yeah, but these are basically going along the cup idea here. I don't have to do exactly a cup. I do have to have it as one piece. But you know, maybe I could, oops. Let's get a new one here. There we go. Maybe it's like in 3 parts or something. You know, like, maybe it's like a big old cube. And each part has something different, like one side comes in down a bit for measuring that side, and then let me grab the orange over here, and then maybe the next side has like all these different circles in here for like measuring vanilla. Like all these like your liquids together at the same time. Maybe there's like a button on the side that latches it closed down. It could be like a mixing bowl at the same time, but I don't want to make it that complicated. And then next side. Next side. What could I do? Now I'm slightly stumbling, like, what do I do? Maybe, and sometimes you get stuck and you're like, I need some inspiration. What's another way to measure things? So you want to make it all in one. So what do I have here? I got like a big thing to measure like a flour, a little thing for the liquids. I'm trying to think of other dry ingredients. Like another way to think about this is your ingredients itself. So usually with making cookies, you want flour, sugar. I'm just gonna do standard chocolate chip. It's like vanilla extract. And like eggs, butter, trying to remember what else is there. Flour, sugar, chocolate, butter, sugar, vanilla extract, just a tiny little bit of salt. I have to look up like a chocolate chip cookie recipe. best chocolate chip cookie ever. I'm like looking up at the tab here to get the ingredients. Butter, sugar, some brown baking soda. So these are, I need to list out all the things that need to be like, oops. Yeah, I need to like list out all the ingredients in the cookie. That's something I should have started earlier. Designing this. Eggs, baking soda, flour. What else is there? I'm like looking at different recipes. I just want a basic. Don't tell me about your life stories. That's a common thing with like baking vlogs. There's always like your life story right at the beginning. I just want the ingredients, that's all. Scroll all the way down to the bottom here. Yep, salt, chocolate chip, baking soda. Some people use a little bit of brown sugar. I probably need to be exact with these ingredients sizes in here. I probably should test this out. I just want like the basic, what is it, Nestle chocolate chip cookie? There we go, the Nestle chocolate chip cookie recipe. That's what I want. You know, you buy like that packet of like the little chocolate, what are they called? Like the little semi-sweet morsels. Okay, there we go. So 2 1/4 cup of flour. So that's the biggest. Flour that will be at the bottom, or the biggest portion. And the second biggest is the butter. That's 1 cup of butter. No, the second biggest is the morsels, 2 cups of morsels. So 2 cups of that, and this needs 2 1/4. Oh, hello. That was weird. Yep, Chrome just shut down. That is not the Miro thing I had open. Where is it? Oh, did I lose all my notes? No! History. Okay. Is it through here? No. Just type, go back to that website. There we go. It's still here. So this is 2 and this is 2 1/4. So the majority of my thing is to take flour, and chocolate is the second largest. So I could have things, you know, make it simple where these like stack each other. The total whole thing is like 3 cups or something. No, like 2 1/4 cup. Could be something like this, but again, this is already standard and usually is pretty heavy. So maybe I need to like, Again, you could think about this very differently of having different sides. So I got one side here that's like a bunch of circles in it with different stuff going on. Let's see here, undo, done drawing. So I'm gonna go back to the sticky notes here. So what I could do is like have different levels and different sides. So like, again, I have like this deep side, and then maybe I have like this side that like goes all the way in. I also can think about how one thing needs butter. Another thing needs like what's it called? Butter. I'll just look over here, eggs. Like I could have one side that's specifically for liquid. Because I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 9 different compartments. Okay, and it's got a stuff. So that's just the idea here. It's got all these different sides and different cutouts in it. Now to come up with a different idea beyond this, I'm gonna go with purple here. So now I need to look at another idea. So I got like a cube, and you have different sides on. What's another way? Like I could turn it, measure it into different sides. So it makes things a little bit easier. I wonder like, maybe, no, that's not. I was thinking maybe I should just get the idea out. Like, even if it doesn't work practically, you get the idea out. So I was thinking maybe I could have like this cup where it has like these discs in it. And then you pull like the discs out for different measurements in there. So you can always get the exact measurements. But that's basically the same thing as this up here without like the things on top. So I'm like, That's why I'm just thinking it's not a good idea. But it's good to have it down. Like just get it out of your head. So it makes it easier for you to like make the problem easier to solve. Like so you can just like take out all those bad ideas. And the good ideas can come in. Yeah. Just looking around for different things. So you kind of do like that cube idea. Could do sphere, but sphere is not practical to hold. Oh, I have another idea. Maybe like, kind of like this right here. You can also take a brainstorm idea and just branch it off. I could do something like that, but it has like, again, this disc. You can slide it up and down. So you start with the top for the lowest amount, and it's got like a mark here that says, this, stop here for this. So you start here, dump it, and then bring this thing down for like a different measurement, and bring it down for a different measurement. The problem with this, I need it to have like a way where it kind of like locks on different things, but it doesn't leak through. And that complexes it a little bit. But I'm thinking maybe from the side, it could be a thing they pull and push from the top. So maybe it's like this little handle, the lid with the thing that catches. And then a button you press to open this like little thing that catches. And like you just go through the different, layers as you pull it up and down. Okay. So that's about it for today. I could brainstorm a lot more on this. But after you brainstorm a bunch of different ideas, you pick your favorite. My favorite is this, and this. Of course, I don't have a lot of ideas here because I stopped for one and be like, wait, I should have listed out the ingredients to work with. But I like these ideas. So what you do is you take these ideas here, come up with different situations, how they could be good or how they could be bad, and maybe give them like more concrete ideas, like organization through them, and becoming more detailed for each of the different parts and how they work. And yeah, after you do that, you pick your top 2, top 3, and next week I'll tell you about how to test those ideas. But that's actually about it for today for Design It. We're going to be starting at 5 Design Juniors for your kids, and with them, it's the same thing, but we're making like a robot, like more of a toy than an invention. So yeah, you can stay tuned for that, or again, you can just join us today. Have a good afternoon.